Welcome here to a very special edition of the Bobcat Buzz as we are on site, on location at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse here with the Bobcats. And the Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse is continuously expanding and evolving. I'm honored to have the exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with WakeUpCall with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media in connection with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, because we get to tell these stories like Shawn Peake's story, as he is not only the head baseball coach here at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse for the Bobcats, but this is a new program and he gets to be the first ever coach bringing this program into fruition. So this is a Bobcat Buzz that will always be a timeless capsule here for Bryant Stratton. So welcome back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Shawn joined us when we did our initial inaugural roundtable discussion with Nick Dimitrievsky, Alex Grigorita, Clay Gagan-Sherman, Dan Frasina, and Shawn. And now we're here with you to talk about the reality that the season will be happening.
Will be happening.
Commitments are being announced. So are you feeling it now? Is it here now?
Oh, it's definitely getting a lot more real. The commitments are kind of flowing in, and they're, the paperwork's getting to be a lot, getting all the process, with everybody, getting all those commitments in, but it's definitely starting to get very real.
What is it about Bryant Stratton that lured you here? What brought you here and made you feel like this is the right spot?
Right, for me, especially just from being around the area, knowing that there wasn't another coaching job available, that this was kind of a different experience, not a necessarily traditional college experience or anything like that, but knowing that it's in Syracuse, it's where I'm from, it's where I live, it's where I've always been from. So it's nice to be here and just to experience all this, really.
Did you apply knowing nobody, or did you know someone within the organization?
No, I didn't know anybody. I just applied. I saw it online one day. I was actually on break at my previous job, and I was looking at just kind of things, and it popped up, and I was like, well, all right, let's at least apply, and things kind of happened pretty fast from there.
What was the process like? Bring me into the process from when you applied to now.
So, it's been crazy since then. I applied. They brought me in like a couple days later. I talked to Nick first initially, and then the interview went pretty well at first. He actually tried to get my second interview done the same day. In the same interview, he was trying to bring Sue in and just bring her in like right away and try to get things kind of rolling.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it whenever you want me to.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want the job as much as possible. So he brought me in again a few days later. I talked to Sue. The second time, I feel like we connected pretty well with both of them. But after that, it's been pretty crazy. We did have players here before I got hired. They're no longer here. Things kind of happen with them. Whatever kind of happens with them. But moving forward, it's been stressful, crazy, wonderful, all kind of in between.
Why do you think that when you came in to interview after applying with the athletic director here, Nick Dimitrievsky, who's also a national champion as the head coach of the men's soccer team here at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, why do you think things went so quickly that they brought you in and wanted to do the second interview with Sue right away?
Yeah, I think me and Nick connected pretty well, kind of right off the bat. He went to Liverpool, I went to Liverpool, same with Sue. So we kind of had that little connection, just kind of talked about that kind of stuff. A lot of the connections I have around the area were, something that they were really looking for. I know all the coaches pretty much around here. I played around here. I played for a lot of the guys around here. So having those connections and just kind of showing up definitely, I think, helped.
Here with Shawn Peake, the head baseball coach here at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse for the Bobcats, starting off the program as they will be competing in their first ever season coming up here. We talked a little bit off the air, what's it going to look like this first season?
So we're going to be all over the place a little bit, so in the fall, we're going to have a decent practice schedule, a couple games, we'll see how many we play, and then kind of moving forward, we'll get into our spring season, somewhere around 30-35 games, hopefully for the first one. Kind of doing that now in the process of everybody's kind of at the end of their seasons, so now we're kind of able to schedule more games for next year and stuff like that. So, the good 30-35 scheduled games will be a good test.
Who is going to be on the schedule? Who are you going to be playing?
So it's going to be a lot of the local junior college teams. We'll put OCC, Jefferson, Broome, whoever kind of in that conference, those kind of teams. We'll put our Bryant Stratton Albany. They'll definitely be on the schedule. I was actually talking to. There's a lot of Pennsylvania teams that are in the USCA that have baseball, and they're not within too far. So I'll be playing a good amount of Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. There'll be a couple other ones like that, but yeah, it'll be a good amount.
And I love the Scranton connection because that's another home to me. So
Yeah.
I know that area very well in Wilkes-Barre. And so this is going to essentially, I mean, with it being the first season, because you're playing so many teams that are local here in New York, plus, obviously connecting with other Bryant and Stratton colleges and going into Pennsylvania, Northeast PA, it's the inaugural season, yet it's going to be a really exciting local, you could really start to build rivalries right away, the way that I see it.
Yeah, I don't want to start a rivalry with anybody, obviously, but if that's what kind of happens, that's what's going to kind of happen. I want to play everybody around here to see where eventually we stack up. I know we're kind of in the works talking here with Nick and Sue. Hopefully we'll be opening up one of our first home games, hopefully at the stadium where the Mets play now. So, we can have like a nice day or something like that for staff around here. And, hopefully we can kind of make that like an every year thing to get there, have one of our first games at the stadium, and then kind of just have a nice night out for everybody.
You are, obviously in the process of finding that home stadium. How is that going, and just what you can tell us up to this point about where you're going to be playing?
So, not exactly positive on where exactly we're playing yet. But we actually just had a meeting about it kind of before this. So we actually have a good amount of ideas flowing through right now. Can't really say yes, this is going to be that spot, but we actually had a pretty good meeting today. Got some more ideas flowing.
So for you, as you put the schedule together and you get your home field essentially together and all of that, how have you assessed looking in the mirror and seeing yourself go through this? Because, after a while, 5-10 years down the road, you'll have your field, and it might change here and there, but you'll know, okay, this is where we're playing. Your schedule starts to materialize. This is where we're playing every year. So going through the initial process of all this, how have you taken that, and how have you handled the adversity of creating something that doesn't exist yet?
It's definitely hard. It's the best part of it has been the support from our staff and everybody here. We were obviously talking to Clay before this, having him around. He's been through the ringer a little bit, having, to figure this out, figure that out, and I kind of went through it with him at the end of the basketball season of trying to figure out the last minute stuff. But just kind of following along and plugging along and seeing what I can do and how I can figure it out. It's definitely a process.
What have you learned from the other coaches here, and obviously Alex and Nick being, in the administrative part of it, with Nick being the AD and Alex Grigorita being the assistant AD? What have you learned from them as far as some pieces of advice that you've really taken and implemented in creating this baseball program?
That the grind just never stops. It never stops. Your phone's never going to stop ringing. Emails never stop coming in. And one thing that I definitely want to take from Nick, that he kind of even said, like right when I got hired, top players are out there. We're gonna find them. They might not come this year. They might not come in the way I want them to come, or do this or do that. But we're gonna get them eventually. And that's how he's been successful. Now he's got 2 back-to-back national championships. Alex is obviously following right along. Hopefully Clay and then hopefully Tay on the women's side. Hopefully they'll be able to get there pretty soon, and then I'm just trying to follow suit, really.
What's it like to be, at Bryant Stratton College, where we have seen this evolution and this growth of athletics here in our community of Central and Upstate New York, and as these athletic programs within Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse are blossoming and evolving? You have a national champion in men's soccer, a national champion in women's soccer. Clay has gone to the national tournament, and Tay has gone there with him as an assistant to the national tournament. Now he's taking over the women's basketball program. So all the coaches on staff have felt what it's like to be a part of nationals already, and here you are.
Yeah. So it's like it's almost intimidating walking by Nick's office every day with all those trophies all around, right?
Yeah.
You walk in there and it's funny, we were talking about getting a trophy case and kind of getting some more displays around the school.
Yeah.
It's basically just Nick showing off. That's all it is, right? It's all his stuff showing off. But no, that's right. You're exactly right. They've all kind of seen it. They've all been there. So getting the little experiences from them, just telling me, hey, you know, the little minute details of picking food, where to stay at a hotel, all those kind of things, just picking their brains about that kind of stuff has been great.
What's one of the things that they've given you advice about that you didn't even know you needed to know?
And just go do it. Go out, and more than I kind of felt I needed. Go and do it. Just, it's yours. Go run with it, and go find players. Go find how you want to do things, and it's yours. And that's been amazing to, you know, I can't ask for anything else.
Shawn Peake here with us in this Bobcat Buzz special exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, as the Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse Bobcats are here with us every single month in our multimedia marketing partnership. Head baseball coach Shawn Peake, you talked about going out and finding the right players. There's already been some commitments that have been announced.
Absolutely.
So share with everybody here the ones that we can talk.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have, I'll say 5 or 6 right now that are fully committed, ready to go, that I can at least say. The other ones, there's a lot that are in the works. Like I kind of said before, paperwork, that kind of stuff just needs to get done. We'll have a few more kind of flowing in. But to start, I'll start with, we'll go Maximo Santos. He's from New York City. Raniel Veras, also from New York City. We got Brian Angelis, also from New York City. They kind of came together all from the same program. I just got we got our big guy from Texas, Jeremiah Curiel. He's down from Corpus Christi, so getting him up here and hopefully a couple other his buddies. Those will be a pretty cool experience to get some diversity. And then we have some international guys that are committed as well. The one at least that's posted right now is Juan Sebastian Martinez. So we're getting them all kind of from all over the place, and he's from Venezuela actually.
How did you get yourself a commitment from Texas?
That, a lot of work, definitely a lot of work.
How'd you find them?
So on a field level website, a recruiting app, I've kind of connected with this guy down there. He's been amazing for me, really, just finding me guys. He's been sending me, you know, videos on this guy, sending videos on this guy. I get them on the phone, you know, as soon as I possibly can, and say, hey, you know, we're brand new. You know, there's a lot of opportunity for playing time, and there's a lot of opportunity for growth and being a new program. And kids are pretty excited about the being new aspect of it, and you know, they can start something as well.
How do you pull in a player from Venezuela?
Same deal. Same deal. Actually, it's from the same guy. He it's a recruiting service down in Texas. He's got a wide variety of guys. So he's kind of sent me some, and I didn't really, you know, I don't know too much about the international side of things before, because the places I was kind of working at before, we didn't really have too many of them on our teams.
Yeah.
So now that I know, like Coach Alex, Coach Nick, they have a lot of them on their teams that are from international. We have a lot of international students here. So I figured I'll try to, you know, dip my hand in that a little bit and see what I can get. So, but there's definitely going to be a decent amount of coming from all over the place.
And then you said, obviously, 3 players that you could talk about at this point that have committed from New York City.
Yes.
Bryant Stratton College in general, whatever sport it may be, and I know Clay's heavy there in recruiting, and Dan Frasino when he was here in creating the men's basketball program that Clay is now the head coach of. He was big about it. What is it about Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse that has built such a strong bridge with New York City across multiple sports and programs?
Yeah, it just seemed like it's a good fit for those kids for some reason. It seems like coming here, maybe with the downtown kind of aspect of it, not, you know, being a traditional thing where we kind of connect with that person and that athlete. And that's why those 3 kids that are actually from New York City, Long Island area, they all play on the same team together. And literally, it was the first recruiting trip that I went down to. Met them on the weekend. By Monday morning, they were all ready to come. So they were then here and already taking classes for the semester. As soon as I got hired, it was a couple weeks after where I got those guys in.
And when you bring in these players, I mean, coming from New York City, coming from Texas, coming from Venezuela. What is the housing situation like for them?
So they have the option. They're going to be living right here on campus as well. So there's other kids that maybe be juniors or upperclassmen coming from junior colleges and stuff like that. Those kids might have the option to live off campus, but really we'll get majority will be living right here on campus.
And so for you in this, I mean, being a part of Bryant Stratton College and the USCAA and whatnot, it's a different world, right? And so when you have eligibility, it really doesn't matter age, and there's more wiggle room than in the NCAA. So for those who don't know, describe the fact that, you know, Bryant Stratton College has a unique opportunity with other schools in the USCAA that you can open up to more than just what you're typically used to seeing for NCAA D1, 2, and 3.
Right, so it's a lot different, really. So we have the ability to do the 2-year degrees and the 4-year degrees. So having just even those two options, hey, come here for 2 years and, you know, we can ship you somewhere else if you want, bigger, better, whatever it is. Move on to the pros maybe or whatever, or you can come finish your 4-year degree, or you can, you know, leave after your 2-year degree. So having just those options, having a little bit of the scholarships, just the ability to have the Say Yes program around here, getting those kind of things in definitely helps.
So as you've gone throughout this process and you've gone on the recruiting trail, what gets you jazzed about it? What gets you excited about it? Like, what makes you, because I know, like, I feel like in the world that I live in, a lot of people I surround myself with, be it coaches or not, there's some type of recruiting that we do, right? I'm hiring people, I'm bringing in interns, I'm bringing in businesses I want to work with, I'm recruiting. I've realized that no matter how much I recruit, I always want to recruit. Are you like that?
Yeah, you need more. It's like I kind of said earlier, my phone never stops ringing anymore. Like, it never stops ringing anymore. Till midnight, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, it's literally never stops. So like, yeah, I'm on the grind to just go and find these guys, because I know we're gonna need more every single year. You know what I mean? I want top players, and if I can get a couple of them right now to start the program, I think we'll be successful, you know, moving forward.
How many would you like to field a roster with?
Going forward for this, probably the first year, a little bit of a smaller roster.
Okay.
Probably around 25.
Okay.
That would be a little bit of a smaller roster for me. But moving forward, we'll eventually get up to around 35, 40.
How many pitchers do you want to?
About half a team.
I was going to
About
say.
half a team. So,
what are you looking at for that?
Literally, I would say half a team. A lot of the guys right now, kind of getting a couple two-way guys, so they can do both. That'll kind of help me out to get things started. You know, obviously, if you have the ability to do both, it's gonna, you know, help out a little bit more.
You said you went to Liverpool. I do a monthly show with Liverpool Athletics at Abacoles, right down the road from Liverpool High School, so I know the Warriors well. Also connected with West Tennessee, CNS, CBA, Baldwinsville, and so on and so forth, and obviously schools in the southern tier. So how much are you doing recruiting locally, and are you keeping an eye on the, you know, Cortland area, the Binghamton area, Syracuse, Watertown? Are you around these parts as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the last few weeks, especially baseball season's pretty hot around here right now. They're in the middle of it, kind of getting towards the end. The teams are kind of making their sectional push and this and that. But I've been out I pretty much go to a game once a night, as many as I possibly can. I got to see these guys, you know, trying to get as many as I can from around here, as quick as I can, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of them just kind of based on timing. A lot of the kids around here, when I got hired, kind of already made their decisions or this and that.
Yeah.
But I have to follow up for next year, basically. So I'm trying to, even if they're already signed, sealed, delivered for where they're going this year, I'm definitely here looking at the juniors, sophomores, freshmen, whatever's the product that is not signed, basically.
You said you played here, you know coaches here. Have you already built a lot of bridges? I mean, do you know a lot of the faces in baseball in our community?
Yeah, I think growing up here, like you said, I played around here my whole life. I do know a good amount of them. I played for them, played with them. We've kind of talked, hung out. There's family friends that are the coaches around here. So I have a good base of you know, the contacts around here.
That coming here from Shawn Peake. Very excited about the upcoming baseball season, and it's become a staple of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. when Dan Frisina came in, him and I met a few years back. And then when Clay came in, I think it was like right after he came out to one of my shows and we met like that. You and I are sitting down talking. When Tay got the job, we got to break the news. We got to break the news with Clay. We got to break the news when it's become a habit for me that if a program's starting here, that I'm sitting down with the coach. So it's a pretty amazing thing, and I love it, and I know that I'm very, very much excited about having more baseball because it was a part of my life growing up as a kid. It's still a part of my life now. And my dad, huge baseball fan, and then my uncle, my Papa Joe, that's like another dad to me, massive baseball fan, and my closest friends big into it. So I'm surrounded by people that love this sport, and for you to know that there is some baseball here in our community, and we get to see baseball. Obviously, there's been success with SUNY Oswego, and Lemoyne's had success as well, and Syracuse obviously doesn't have their baseball team anymore, and then you have the AAA team that's here with the Syracuse Mets. What can you say about what Bryant Stratton brings here as you look to carve out your own piece of the pie? Why should people come out to Bryant Stratton games once the games start?
So we're different. Like I kind of said, we got guys that are going to be coming from all over the place. It's going to be diverse. We're going to play a different style. We're going to, there's not something like us around here. So we're going to be different than the other junior colleges. Because we have the ability to do different things. So what makes us a little bit different is I'm just going to try to put all my passion and everything I possibly can into this thing and just get them all here and put out a pretty good baseball program.
Why do you believe that you'll be the right coach?
My passion, and this is the only thing I've ever wanted to do. So just keep plugging and just keep going every single day and just make it my own.
Why Bryant Stratton? When we look at the Bobcat, why?
I love this thing, man. Look at the logos. These things are awesome. I love this stuff. This is like
I said that to Clay back in the day. I was like, I love your logo.
Yeah,
so
like, I'm a big logo guy. I wish I could have this literally all over the place. Like this is going to be plastered all over everything.
And you and I have the same hat.
Yes,
so I actually said that I drove over here and I was like, if I had known, I would have taken it out of the car because that's the hat I was given.
These are going to be our game hats. Game hats rolling forward. We don't have my actual jerseys. I wish I could kind of show them off right now, but these would be the kind of game hats going forward.
And I will shamelessly say that once that stuff comes in, we make sure we pull those stuff aside.
Yeah, we got you.
Take care of it. So I gotta enjoy it here because I'm really excited for you. So as we wrap up Bobcat Buzz, we do a thing called rapid fire.
Absolutely.
And so you're gonna put me on the hot seat. I'm gonna put you on the hot seat. We have no idea what we're gonna ask each other. This is all in the moment. 3 apiece. I'll defer to you and let you ask the first one.
All right. Let's see. Out of everybody, I'm not including me, who's your favorite interview out of all these guys here?
Out of all the coaches here, who's my favorite?
Who's the one to do? Who's just like who's the favorite one to do an interview with?
That's so not fair.
I know, I gotta put you on the spot.
That's not fair. I was just gonna say Danny since he wrapped up. Danny. I mean,
because we got big personalities around here. We all got different personalities.
Yeah, we do. I think everybody's different, and I would say, to me, I really can't choose, but since you're making me do it, I would say Clay's the one. Clay and Danny brought me in, and Clay is the one that reached out to me and said, hey, I've watched what you've done for years, and I would really love for you to do it for us. So I'll give a nod to Clay because he's the one that told me, like, I want you here.
All right. Hey, no, that's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Okay, so I'm going to throw it back at you here. My first question to you is, if you could spend the rest of your life on a deserted island with one of the other coaches here, who would you pick and why?
Oof, that's a really tough question. So I could go all anyway, really. You're right. See, I think if I'm on a deserted island, I know me and Clay get along pretty well. We've become pretty close friends. But Alex, man, he knows how to get stuff done. You never know. He's the wild card around here, so
he is the wild
I might have to keep Alex with me on the deserted island and just make sure I got food to eat or something. He's gonna figure out something.
I know at this point in the broadcast, I can almost feel his typing coming in.
Exactly.
And oh, Dan, so you didn't choose me. Okay, I'll remember that forever. And the funny thing, Alex, is that I like how he challenges me, and so we always have really great conversations because he never knows what's going to come out of my mouth, and I never know what's going to come out of his. And with all due respect, when he thinks he's got me, I always find a way back.
Yeah, Coach Alex, man, he's got that great personality.
He does.
He's awesome.
He came to America and stayed here on a dare. So, you know, I mean, the man definitely, if you say that he can't do it, he has proven that he will do it. Not only did he stay here, he won a national championship.
Yeah, and I'm gonna rip on him a little bit. So he found sunflower seeds in my desk the other day.
Yeah.
He ate I got 2 bags. He ate every single one of them. He's been devouring these seeds because he said he hasn't had them since he was back in his country.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's just been devouring them lately, so it's been funny.
So you owe him. You need to start.
He's telling me to keep him away because he doesn't want to eat them anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, you need to replenish the bags you ate, Alex.
Right.
You're on watch for that. What's your second one for me?
All right. Now that we're on food, I love food. And who doesn't love food? I know you do a lot of food shows around here.
I guess Gandhi, if you ask me that question.
Yeah, I guess. Right. Well, what's your favorite local spot to go to?
I don't like that all the questions that you're asking me. I have to choose somebody over somebody.
I want to go to the same place. You know, I like good food too.
So I would tell you, man, sorry. So, well, you talked about Liverpool and being in that community, and I brought up Avicoli's, and I brought my mom there for Mother's Day to celebrate that the last Mother's Day we had out with my grandma that I call G-Mama, her mom. We went there to Avicoli's. And so I would say I got really there's the things I really, really like there. And then I venture out, and anytime, this is how I know a restaurant's good. When I venture out of my comfort zone and I get something I've never had before, it becomes a new favorite, and it's good. So I got the tortellini in the vodka sauce with chicken on top, and it was incredible. That sounds fun. So Avicoli's, they got the best veal in town. They got the tortellinis. They have great margarita pizza. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that they do right at Avicoli's, but I'm going to shout them out because when I went there and said I'm going to try something I've never had before, a lot of people don't do that. I'm not picky.
Yeah.
Never disappoint.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so I would say that.
Avicoli's then.
You can pick one breakfast, one lunch, one dinner for the rest of your life. What do you pick?
One of each?
Yep, one of each. 3 meals that you have to eat forever. I already know my breakfast. I would do a ham, cheese, and broccoli omelet.
Bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich.
Okay.
All day.
That's also another thing I like.
Yeah, that's a go-to. Had that this morning.
The omelet I'm thinking of is from Mother's Cupboard, right down the road.
Ooh, you might have to make me switch that now. Because now I'm thinking Mother's Cupboard.
I had never gotten an omelet from them before. It was so good.
The sausage, biscuits, and gravy. That's like my go-to when I go to like a diner or whatever. I would say that.
Okay.
Lunch. Some type of like probably buffalo chicken, something.
Okay.
And then, I mean, pizza. Pizza's my favorite food by far.
Okay.
I love pizza.
For dinner?
Yeah.
From where?
There's a couple different spots. Now you're making me check.
If they're not a partner, I'll just bleep it out.
Yeah, it's okay. I get pizza from Gino Joe's in Liverpool.
Okay.
A decent amount.
Okay.
I love that place, and then Twin Trees.
Okay.
Can't go wrong with Twin Trees. Sometimes. But yeah, those are usually the go-tos.
Yeah, pizza, because you can do anything.
Yeah.
Pizza. I love pizza.
Yeah.
What's your last one?
All right, let's see.
I think we need to get lunch after this.
Yeah, I know, right? So who's been your favorite interview of all time? Not including, could be here, could be ever. Favorite interview of all time.
Well, so we have 4 shows. We have Wake Up Call to Dan Tortora, this one, sports. We have Superpowered Pop, which is entertainment and actors, actresses, illustrators, writers, people at conventions. We puppeteer people and then I have my Dan on Disney show, and then I have my comic book trail show, where we go all over the country and we stop in towns and cities and we pick comic book and collectible spots when we go in there and like promote them and do a really cool thing with the owners. So it's kind of like a diners, drive-ins, and dive feel, but it's with comic books and collectibles. So every show is different, but Superpowered Pop and Wake Up Call are the ones at this time where we've done we've had the guests. Wake Up Call's had over 3,000 guests on it. I've lost count at this point.
Right.
So I think every time I go to update, I have to update. So, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I thank God for that every day. 100% him and whatever, 0.0001% me. But if I had to pick somebody from Wake Up Call as my favorite ever, I would probably have to say, there's so many, but my friend that passed away that I never ever in a million years thought that we would be friends. Not that I didn't think we would get along, I just never thought I would know him.
Right.
I always called him the living legend. I was like, how am I shaking hands with a ghost? I always treated it like it was like I was in a Christmas Carol, and I'm like, how do I know you? So Floyd Little, and I started my company with the support of my grandmothers, my parents, and Floyd. And Floyd actually called a radio station down in Colorado to try and get me a job down there. He was a reference. He called him multiple times. And he was with me. We did an interview in his office, and we aired 45 minutes of it, and then we did like another hour and 15 not recorded, which was even better.
Right.
And I was at a crossroads. I was stressed. I was treated very poorly at the radio station I was at. I was undeniably underpaid and disrespected, and there was no teamwork. It was the antithesis of what any type of business should be run as. It taught me what not to do, and I will appreciate being on the air there, and at the same time it was appalling, like what you go through. And I was just so beaten down, and I was crying and yelling and stressed. And I walked into Floyd's office, and I was thinking about either moving, go to another station, doing another station here, or starting my company, which I wanted to do. And I was 26. And I told Floyd about it, and he sat back in his chair and he looked at me and he said, I think he was on the phone, he got off the phone or whatever, and he used to like shout and then get quiet. And you would hang on every word. And he said to me, I was standing in front of his desk, and he's like, Dan, he's like, when you walked in, you had this aura. And he said, not everybody has it. Not everybody has like the energy. And he's like, but you got it. And he said, you know when you meet somebody that's gonna be successful. And he said, I know you're gonna be successful. He said, you're gonna be very successful. He said, you'll be all right. You're gonna be all right. I know it. I know it. And I started my company shortly after that conversation.
That's pretty.
And we turned 10 years old in July.
Wow.
I've worked more for myself than I've ever worked for anybody else.
That's
More credentials through my company than anybody else. More business partnerships through my company than with anybody else. We've done more with my name on the door than I did at ESPN, Fox, and Yahoo affiliates combined.
That's awesome.
So I thank them all for the experience, but there is nothing better than putting your name on the door. And it's funny because people ask me to this day, not many, people that like don't really know me, that will say to me, when are you gonna make it and be on ESPN? And I was like, I've been on ESPN affiliates in 3 states. I already did it.
Right.
I said, why would I take my name off the door to work for somebody else?
Right.
Not that I don't respect, I watch ESPN, I watch SportsCenter, I watch Fox, I watch all that stuff. Yahoo, everybody's doing a great job. But I put my name on the door.
Right.
I talk about faith on my show, I talk about family and comedy, we have fun, we do things differently, there's morals, there's values. We're 0.1 percenters, we don't lie, we tell the truth, we treat everybody with respect every time, all the time, the first time and every time. And so to me I'm the like anti-media media. And I feel like that's the best part of what I do. So, because we love people and it shows. So I think, for me, I have big plans, and in 18 plus years of broadcasting, I can honestly tell you, if you think I've done anything, in my mind, I have not even broken the seal yet. I haven't even started doing anything yet. To me, at 36 years old, I'm like, oh, you guys have no idea what I'm about to do. Like, I'm hungry.
That's how I feel about the program.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the program.
Which is so much fun, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
That you're like so hungry.
I just want to go do it.
So I'm gonna do a baseball question for you. I'm gonna paint a little picture, living or past.
Mm-hmm.
If you could go to the World Series this year,
Mm-hmm.
what two teams would you want to see play each other of current baseball,
Mm-hmm.
and what four baseball greats, living or passed away, would you want to watch in the stands with?
All right, so I'm a Yankee fan, so Yankees all day.
Yeah, who are they playing?
That's a tough. I don't really like the Dodgers. I know that everybody wants to kind of see that. I don't really want to see that.
I thought it was going to happen within the last
I
couple
thought
years.
that was gonna right. I thought it was gonna happen, but
Yeah.
I'm not really a big Dodger fan. I kind of root for the Giants.
Okay.
So Yankees Giants would be pretty sweet to me.
Okay.
Hanging out in the stands, two of them are very easy. Jeter, that's a no-brainer. That's my favorite player. Buster Posey, that's
Okay.
also my other favorite player. That's definitely hanging out with those two. I met Pete Rose one time.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the only time I've ever been starstruck in my life.
Okay.
Where I was like, holy crap, I'm shaking Pete Rose's hand like that's the best hitter.
He looks like an everyday Joe.
He does, and
but,
kind
you know,
of
it's
talks,
Pete Rose,
and then
yeah.
it's like, that's the best hitter ever. Like, so that was, he would probably be up there. Just pick their brain a little bit, and then the last one would be probably Thurman Munson. I know
Okay.
that's older, obviously not living. That was my grandmother's favorite player. Reason I wore 15, playing my whole life, and still don't wear 15.
Yeah. So your grandmother, why was he your favorite player?
I don't know really. Just the hustle, the kind of gritty, dirty, hard-nosed kind of guy, the catcher. You know, that's what position I played as well. So I kind of wanted to be like that, and I know that was kind of her. And then I didn't really have like a favorite number kind of growing up or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was actually heading to All-Star practice one day, and we were picking uniform numbers that day. And I was like, hey, what number should I pick? She's like, well, you should be 15 because that was my favorite player. And I was like, okay. And that was like 12 years old, and that just kind of stuck till now.
So obviously you have a close relationship with grandma.
Yeah, they, both of them are passed now,
Sorry.
but it's they were big part of my life in growing up. Yeah.
Can we shout out their names?
Absolutely. We got Nana Peake, Nana Carroll, Sandy, and Eleanor. Yes, love them to death. If I can actually just shout out, it's my boy's birthday today. It's my best friend's birthday today.
Yeah.
So Tipper, he's down in North Carolina. He would be one of our coaches, but gotta move down to North Carolina, get away from it a little bit. I can't blame him. I always tell him I wish he'd come back, but stay in the warm weather. But
Yeah, and North Carolina is a beautiful place.
Yeah.
So,
very nice.
A big time congratulations to you,
Thank you, sir.
to the program, to the commitments, to what's to come with the commitments, to history in the making with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse's baseball program. Their head coach, Shawn Peake. We will have plenty coming from Bobcat Buzz and our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with this team and with this coach and your student athletes and of course your staff. So for now, for the Bobcat Buzz on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, thank you for watching and listening. And as always, God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll talk with you soon from right here with the Bobcats inside of the Bobcat Buzz. Sean, appreciate it.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.